Hey guys, Mr. Waltz here. Going to show you how to do Fusion Model Creation 2, figure number 2. This is the first one I'm doing in this series, so I'll help you get the project set up. So open Fusion, go to your data panel, new project, and I'm going to call it Fusion Model Creation 2. I'm going to call it demo because this is my demonstration, but you can just call it Fusion Model Creation 2. Honestly, as long as you know what the project is, it's all good. I'm going to hit enter. That creates the project. And then the project, it's created, but it's not open. So I have to double click it. So now it's open. And that way, any new things that I save will go in there automatically. So then I can close the data panel. I still don't know how to make the grid changes stay, but just check. I'm doing this with snap to grid turned off. And on grid settings, I'm using a fixed grid. Major grid spacing 1 inch, minor subdivisions 4. So, if you want yours to look like mine, those are the settings you need. Before I get started, I'm going to save it just to make sure things are going correctly. I'm going to hit number 2. It's got a file name. You can say figure 2, whatever you want. Make sure it's got the right project, Fusion Model Creation 2, and then hit save. I think you still want to save it when you're done, but at least now it's in there, right? So I'm going to start drawing this thing. Go look at this guy. And so if this can be done with one extrusion. You could make a big sketch that goes all the way around this. But you have to draw a fair amount of lines. You got to get all the dimensions right. Another way to do it is to draw 4 rectangles. So you can do this with 4 rectangles. That's the way I'm going to do it. And then you do one extrusion with 4 rectangles. You could also extrude a box and then cut pieces off of it. You could build some small rectangles and build it up. But I'm going to do the one sketch, 4 rectangles way. So first thing to do, let's look at the overall dimensions. The width, you can go across here, 2, 4, 6, 8, boom. If you go to the bottom, like here's the bottom, right? See the foot here? You can trace this foot in to here. And then if you go up 2, 4, 5 is the height. And then if you look at the depth, you could start here and go backwards 2, 4, 5. So it's basically 8 by 5 by 5. So I'm going to remember that. Hop back over here, create a sketch, click on my XY plane, do a rectangle here. And it's 8 by 5. So 8 star 0.25 and 5 star 0.25. And these are just 2.00 and 1.25 inches. So, if you know the numbers, you can just type in the decimals. That's fine. I'm showing you how to do it the way where you let Fusion do the math. And just because I think that's good to know how to do. But if you know the numbers, feel free to type those in. It'll save you a little bit of time. All right. So like I said, I got one big rectangle. I need 3 more. So the 3 rectangles I need one on the bottom. And I need one in the top left corner and one in the top right corner. And usually when I draw rectangles, I figure out how wide and tall they're going to be before I start. This time, I'm just going to draw them and put dimensions on them after to position them. So the first rectangle is going to be on the bottom. And it's going to be, if you look here, if you go from the left side, it's 1 unit over to where it starts, 1 unit over from the right side, and then it's 1 unit tall from the bottom. So I'm just going to go down here, do a rectangle. I'm going to start down here on the bottom edge, and then click, and then just go up to the right a little bit and click again. So it's just kind of a random rectangle that's on the bottom edge of the shape. I need 3 dimensions here. I need to show the height of this. So I'm going to show the height of the rectangle. Go over here, boom, 0.25. By the way, in case you forgot, I'm using the dimension tool. Go here, create sketch dimension. It'll probably be on your toolbar. I'm zoomed in kind of far, so that's why it's doing that. You can also hit, the shortcut is D, so you can always hit D for dimension. And then to place a dimension, just to review, you click on 2 things that you want to measure between. So, for example, if I want to measure from the corner here, the origin, click there, and then click on that point there, which is the bottom of the rectangle. So I click twice. You move your mouse to place the measurement, and then click again, and it'll let you type it in. This is going to be 0.25. And then the last one is over here. I could click those 2 points. You can also click edges. So I could click this right edge of the rectangle, click, and click this right edge of the big rectangle. And then bring my mouse down, click again, and then 0.25, enter. All right, so that's good to go. Cool. So now I need 2 more rectangles, and I'm done. They're both in they're going to be one in the top left corner, one in the top right. They're both going to be the same height. They're both going to be the same width. If you look at the width, you can kind of tell, like across this line here, it's 2 units wide. And if you count down from the top, you can see it's 1 unit, 2 units, and then it looks like half. So there's a couple ways to do this. I'll do it both ways just so you can see the different approaches. So if I know it's 2.5 units and each unit is 0.25, it just means I multiply 2.5 times 0.25. So I'll do that one, okay? So I'm going to click up here, create rectangle, click on the corner. Now I'm going to come down here a little bit. It wants me to type in the width. It's 2 squares. I know that's 0.5. You could do 2 star 0.25. And then I want to put the height. So I hit tab. And so this is going to be 2.5 star 0.25. 2.5 squares that are each 0.25 tall. Hit enter. Boom. There it is. And you can see the number is 0.625. After a while, you get to know all these fractions, what they are in decimal. If you do this for 40 years, like your teacher. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to observe something here. And if you look at this, 1.25, 5 squares is the total height of this. Well, this little rectangle was half of that. 2.5 is half of 5. So where this ends here is what we call a midpoint. So I'm going to draw the right rectangle. I'm going to click the rectangle tool. I'm going to come on this edge here. The X just means it's the nearest point on that line, so that's fine. Be careful you don't get an implicit constraint. I don't want to start in the middle. See that triangle? That means midpoint. So don't put it there. Go in a little bit, click, and then I'm going to come down. And I want it to line up with the midpoint. So if I move this mouse down here, you see I'm on this edge. That's a nearest is what the X means. And then when I get down here, you're going to see a triangle. Boom, that's it. So that means if I click on that point right there, that this rectangle will be constrained to go halfway down. And look at the height of the rectangle. You can see that it is 0.625. And so I can just click here, boom. And then I just need one dimension, D for dimension. Click on the left edge here. Click on the right edge here. Go up here, click again, and you can just type 0.5 and you're done. So that way I only had to do one measurement on the rectangle. It made it slightly simpler. And that's just another way to do this stuff. So you're going to hit the green check mark to finish your sketch. And I usually go to the home view so I can tell my extrude. And now we got to extrude. And if you click extrude, you could like try to figure out like where to click. But basically it's the middle part right here. If you click there, boom. There it is. The extrude distance was 5 squares, which is 1.25. So I'm just going to type 1.25 and hit enter. And you could do 5 star 0.25 to get that. But hopefully after a while you start to know these things. And, you know, money analogies, always good. 5 quarters, well, that's $1.25. All right, so we're done now. I'm going to use the save button. Boom. It always asks you for this version info. I just hit OK. But if you were saving, like you wanted to have a special version saved for some purpose, you could do that. And then, as always, go in here, show data panel, right-click on your design, share public link, draw on the switch. You can copy the link. On Chromebooks, it doesn't seem to be working. So best way, type it in to Google Classroom. But hopefully, if you're on a PC, you'll be able to hit copy and then paste it into Google Classroom and you'll be good to go. All right. See you in the next video. Good luck.